Is artificial intelligence shaping the future of businesses or dismantling the very foundation we have built? Will it open more doors for revolutionary opportunities, or will it disrupt the very essence of traditional business values? In today's episode, we discuss the profound impact of AI, the challenges of cybersecurity, and how to manage innovation with core principle values. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our fourth episode of Startup Saga, powered by eCell. Today we have Jyoti Rai with us. She's a visionary leader, a TEDx speaker, and founder of For Ethical AI, Ethowire and For Ethical AI. Why not start by you introducing yourself and telling us a bit about your journey?
Awesome, fantastic. That's a great starting point. Thank you for having me here. Yes, I'm Jyoti Rai, currently in a new avatar as a founder of two companies, Ethowire AI and For Ethical AI. So I think the AI is a common denominator in both. But I am a business Sherpa who has spent 25 years in Indian financial markets across phenomenal companies where I launched different products to launching products on exchanges. And then I hung up my boots to become a business owner. And between this 25 years of journey, things happen, and that's my introduction. So I think I'm a jack of all trades, an army kid, army brat, who happens to get into financial markets, and now has ended up setting up a media entertainment company harvesting AI, and one community which is ethical AI. So that's me.
That's quite interesting. What was your what decision did you take to start this
journey? Or you mean to say, going back to 25 years, what made me take that decision to join me financial markets?
Yes.
Actually nothing. I couldn't get through an MBA.
Okay.
And I was sulking. My cousin called up. She said, enough drama, there is an interview happening of a foreign bank, why don't you go and give an interview? I was sulking even till I reached the interview.
Right.
But being an army kid, I felt, aa gaye hain to dekh lete hain. The prerequisite of the interview at the foreign bank was MBA. Okay. And I didn't have that degree. That gave me a hit right there. I went ahead and gave an interview. I came back out with an offer with as a sales executive with Citibank in Pune when they were launching their banking services. And I was just so excited with the offer letter that I did it without an MBA degree. I think that high has never left me. So the decision was just to appear for an interview and still go for it without the prerequisite. So yeah, that was the starting point.
Okay, so from your experience, as you know, AI is the most up and coming thing nowadays.
Yes.
So what do you think? What are your thoughts on businesses incorporating AI and their impacts on it?
Oh, fantastic. I was, in fact, catching up with you previously. I realized that AI question is definitely going to come. But before I answer, let me take a few steps back. Okay, let's set the context that what are we dealing with, right? Let's do the diagnosis a bit. So AI itself, which is the artificial intelligence by name given by the humans to extrapolate that there is outside our brain, a machine can do everything, almost everything what human minds are doing, right? So a big data is brought in and it's massaged for the various outputs that are desired. But two things. Purely from the context of AI as a technology innovation, I think it's beyond innovation or technology. I think it's a shift which has happened. AI is supposedly, it's such a historic thing that human civilization is seeing, that it's called bigger than the invention of fire or even electricity. So we are dealing with that kind of some mammoth that has been built up.
That's true.
Now AI has been in our life for almost like, I was watching some videos of history of AI, and it goes back way in 1926 and stuff. But since I come from financial markets, I knew that there is an AI which is being used by the biggest asset manager, BlackRock, sorry. AI engine called Aladdin. And so that's on the context on financial markets, right? There's a big system that can crunch hundreds of millions. I think we should pause for the football matches, which are really cheering, and we should cheer with for the winning team. So yeah, we are talking about artificial intelligence in a context that the people who have been behind it, like we call in reference to AI, we are talking about ChatGPT, OpenAI, and Gemini, right? So many others. So that's one side of AI. There is AI happening in medical science and health tech and med techs and others as well, right? So we are dealing with an intelligence which can now think, can modify, can give an output, and if you don't like any of it, then it can further re-engineer itself and start giving you solution.
Right.
So if you consider AI as an innovation and technology, the purpose of technology has always been for human to make our life easy, right?
That's true, yes.
And how easy AI is making our life, of course, we are all seeing the good part and of course the bad part. So as a founder myself, how I use AI, I saw AI in social media because my company, in a startup language, because your show is a startup. So my investors asked me, what's your problem statement? So I said, my problem statement is social media. So he said, what's your solution? I said, content. Okay. So it's a paradox, but that's for later. But I'm using AI to kind of improve the quality of content and give directional feedback to improve the content, the NLP of the interviews and stuff. So that's for later.
Okay,
yeah.
but as you know, AI has been used by businesses now in all aspects, and now every business is using it to maximize their
Yes.
profits. So how do you think now up and coming businesses will use AI to stay relevant in their fields?
Another very good question, that how businesses will stay relevant. I think it's a master question, and how I have seen so far from a perspective that I bring on the table. One is when I was in financial markets, then how the companies stayed relevant was investing in people and technology, and they were investing in growth by growing to new markets and branching out to sell more financial products. But their investment in people were very evident in that format of companies that wanted to stay relevant. They were at the forefront of creating regulations also, those who stayed relevant. You now move to a sector which I see when I'm angel investing, and I'm checking that how some of the brilliant companies have stuck their neck out and stayed relevant and started doing extremely well as well. There are enough stories from the ecosystem of startups. And in the financial markets, I can tell you that how a company like Asian Paints have stayed relevant in terms of creating enough financial wealth for its investor is by optimizing data, and I'm sure they're optimizing AI as well. So Asian Paints efficiency, target market approach, customization, customer centricity, processes, distribution comes out of MEMOT data being crunched, analyzed, and as I said, hopefully using AI. All of these amazing companies are staying relevant by reinventing themselves, investing in themselves, in people, and of course technology. I want to bring a interesting perspective about the relevance also comes from the timing of when you start a business, right?
Right.
That because in every startup pitch, you know that investors will ask you that ये business कब तक चलेगा? इसमें तो competition घुस जाएगा, इसकी तो regulations take off नहीं होंगी, इसमें तो banking regulations नहीं होंगी. There could be many headwinds, right?
Yes.
So timing is very important of adoption, acceleration, the speed of adoption, everything. A lot goes in keeping a company relevant, and it starts at the top.
But there's a very controversial debate going on in the IT business domain about whether AI is taking jobs or helping create more jobs. So what is your opinion on that?
You said it's a debate, right, and an ongoing debate.
It is.
So let's keep it debate. I can't conclude it, but let me ask you this question. You are a student yourself, and I see buzz around college campuses. How are you finding placements today after the AI wave? I will give my answer, but let me call you.
I mean, nowadays the economy is quite difficult, and it's very difficult for students our age to find jobs because, as I said, AI has taken away a lot of easy jobs that could earlier be done by people and is now being done by computers and machines.
I think you said it fantastically well. You or me? Okay, so I think as you rightly said that in the time of AI, the simple jobs are now being taken out and out, not required to be outsourced. That's exactly, you have really nailed it. Currently, as we anticipated that the role of technology has always been to make life easy for human beings. So the laborious job, that required your too much of hours, can now were getting done by the technology, right? Now some more portion is getting outsourced. AI doesn't take coffee breaks, loo break, no complaints on overwork, right? They don't want holidays or things like that. So for a business, especially tech businesses that relied on the humans for a part of business that can be administratively used by somebody else. Like, let me give you an example. In an equity research house, okay, you would used to have hundreds of researchers on the table. There are thousands of listed companies on Indian exchanges, so you need hundreds of foot on ground to cover up those many companies earlier. And there used to be physical visits to these factories and offices to know the fundamentals of listed companies, kitna manufacturing ho raha and all. Technology came. Lot of data started appearing on internet of disclosures and all. Now researchers don't need to go out and but fundamental research exists. But what I'm trying to say is that now a lot is getting done by the AI. That there are hundreds of research reports can be analyzed over a microsecond. And it just doesn't give you the templatized thing. It goes beyond in also suggesting you that would you like to use these strategies from it. So this task wasn't possible by a one person.
Yeah, that's correct.
Today a one machine sitting on one corner, probably running on a small chip, can do that multi-data, multi-market, multi-touch points, zillions of touch points, cross-analyze in few hours. So there is a clear displacement that is happening. But then you also see AI आने के बाद में आपकी डे टू डे लाइफ कहाँ, आप वही ओला उबर ले रहे हो, आप वही ड्राइवर्स लेके जा रहे हो, आपका गूगल मैप आज भी गलत डायरेक्शन दिखा रहा है, स्टूडेंट्स के इंटर्नशिप चैलेंजेस पहले भी थे, अभी भी है. सो अभी मैं सुन रही थी Zomato is using AI for topping up some restaurants, showing favorite, personalized recommendation, and then so there's a lot people are going to try to harvest out of AI. The impact is real, and I think we shouldn't be saying that we weren't aware. It was happening right in front. ओके पहले हम लोग घर से बाहर निकलते थे तो मम्मी पापा रास्ता बताते थे, और कहीं भटक जाते थे तो हमारे टाइम पे पीसी होता था, बट तुम्हारे टाइम पे फ़ोन मम्मी आपने कहाँ बताया था, पापा नहीं मिल रहा है. Now do you really call your parents to find any right? So navigation is Google Papa, Swiggy Mama,
Yeah.
So change is evident, change is here. I think the learning, unlearning will make people relevant, and the AI scare is not scare, it's a reality, right? So we keep hearing about now imagine, I was talking to a call center owner.
Okay.
They used to have like thousands of thousands of people, youngsters on call centers, and they used to run in shift. Today they just need 3 computers that can run 24 hours or 7, doing multi-language in speaking without breaks. So look at the cost. So yeah, is it right, wrong, is a separate debate, as you said. Yeah.
So as you know, everyone is using AI in their own way. So what, from your experience, what do you think small startups should do to, incorporate AI to maximize their profits and become like huge?
Wow, I wish I had that answer, and I can keep it, for subscription only for your podcast. But what can startup or businesses, small businesses do?
Since you're a founder of two companies,
Yeah,
so what has been your journey and how did you incorporate technology into making it a success?
Yeah, no, in fact, मेरी company में AI use होता है, but कोई replace नहीं हुआ है.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like in Etherwire, we are into three verticals. We have entertainment, we have education, we have research and events.
Right.
In the entertainment business, AI comes as my back office sometime. AI helps in research or in catalogs and stuff. It helps in many other things that we do. Research, I'll give you an example how we used AI to understand some basic benchmarking. That how do two different chat, I don't know if anyone has done it, but one should try it, ask one question, same question to both the AI. So we did a series that how to teach kindness to a 7-year-old.
Oh, okay.
We did a series called how do we teach ethics to 7-year-old. How would you teach kid it's okay to lose? So when you see both the large language models, right? These
LLMs,
are two. These are
yes.
both are large language models. These OpenAI, ChatGPT, and you should compare it with Gemini. And now there is DeepSea, I believe, has been launched,
Yes.
right? Many other, as I said, there are small, big, all of it. But imagine the output will tell you, will familiarize with the first layer of your LLM. It will reveal the character, it will reveal the thought process. To give you an example, like how do you teach kindness? We wanted the AI to take an example. So it was left to the AI to kind of give us the answer. So both the AI chose a very similar way, was that if it's the AI would have made up its own intelligence. Oh, it's 7-year-old, kindness, teach. So AI one told that they used an example of Lego. And the other chatbot used an example of pirates.
Oh,
With swords and stuff.
okay.
So I had to tell the other chatbot to you can't use this example
It's a
for a
kid.
7-year-old kid exactly.
Yeah.
And then so when I look at this, why I'm telling you this, that becomes your research playground.
That's true.
I don't get my answers there, I get my work done. As a company, we are based on few fundamental principles of ethics and even in ethics in content, right? So nothing that we do is not research backed. Even the guest can't just say things and get away. The guest comes with the credibility and they are the vessel and the authority on those topics.
Right.
So that's how I use AI. There's a lot of content writing happen there, a lot of filtering happen there. There's a lot of bouncing of ideas. We ask AI to give ideas, but they are far more defined and serious in terms of our research. While doing this research, I realized that, and of course, by now at this age you become also pretty observant, right? And not that you are not observant in your age, but there's a lot of perspective,
Yeah.
experience that is there. So when I was evaluating AI
Yeah.
and evaluating its impact, I said, okay, everybody is going to be using AI, it's inevitable. Like social media will not go out of our lives.
That's true.
Similarly, AI will not. Like Google Maps you have been using, right? I
Yes.
gave an example.
Yeah.
So that's an AI. Okay, and so AI has always been around to tell us, navigate us, and we just didn't know in that format. So when I was watching this, I said, okay, people are using AI, they are building business models out of AI. Who is writing the ethical code? If AI has to replace humans, okay, as a debate that is going on, and in some cases it's happening, in some cases it's work in progress. Then if humans are to be replaced by AI, will they be held on to the same principle of ethics and integrity that we are held up on?
I'm sure they wouldn't.
So the code is missing. So my entrepreneur mindset, let's bring up a community of non-techers, non-coders. I'm a non-techie, okay, but I back tech companies. I have a perspective, right? Having an opinion is different, having a perspective is different, right? And in no time, there was people coming together to say, yeah, let's write some ethical code that should be adopted across several sectors, that the AI that we are using to develop new things, students using to develop innovation, engineering marvels, should see that it's used ethically. So my use of AI is to coexist, lead, that it doesn't lead me, but truly harness, make it a servant and make it do the job, what it's supposed to do.
So as a non-techie, what made you go into the tech industry?
Oh, I love tech actually. You know, it's मतलब मैं MBA नहीं कर पाई, वैसे मैं tech भी नहीं कर पाई. But no, it's nothing. I think during my early career, the companies that there was a tipping point where I was in domestic companies. Of course, I worked for Citibank, I worked for Reliance Mutual Fund, and some marquee names. I moved to Reuters. I think that's when I realized the technology infrastructure. Because in mutual funds, I was on the product sales, I was selling to institutions, I was talking about money market, money management of treasuries. When Reuters happened, it was technology, that how do fund managers behind mutual funds, what data are they looking at, the screens that they see, how the data from Reserve Bank comes and gets populated on your screen, how does a stock exchange sends in data, what's happening behind the scene. So Reuters was an eye-opener role that I was there to build up a new business vertical, and you know, the VSAT, we had to set up jumbo systems at the treasuries. The fund managers who would use Reuters for forex rates for trading their billions of dollars would need those installation, and these are high-end, sophisticated machines. I was marveled. You know, I was marveled. So I think that's where the bug in 2006 started.
Okay.
While my predominant role was always business development, strategies, developing new markets so that products can be launched, looking at the balance sheet always of the companies, but the tech always stayed. So I used my tech knowledge and my interest for all the subsequent business development roles I took. So when I moved to a custodial company where I was, my target segment was hedge funds. So they trade offshore, so the technology is very important. So tech was always there. In 5 years back, I was angel investing. I started angel investing. No tech company would have hired me. Let's be honest, I don't have a tech degree. So I said, let me learn the rope of tech companies. Let me understand the psyche of founders of technology. And I'll get to be ahead of the curve and the game of what's coming up next. So usually in technology ऐसा होता है, it's a common world that US में, you know, most of the indicators come from US market, developed markets, right? Innovation वहाँ हो रहा है, and in some time पहले ये 5 साल बाद इंडिया आता था, अभी वो स्पीड 6 महीने में हो गई है, वहाँ पे कुछ डेवलप हो रहा है इंडिया में quickly. So I think that the tech kept me relevant. I must admit that the curiosity for learning new applications kept me going. 5 years back, I got into angel investing, and some generative AI caught my attention.
Generative AI.
Yeah. So I was while I was evaluating, the COVID happened. Humans disappeared from the roads, right? Disappeared from airport lounges and restaurants. We were all in the house, and it struck me, what would happen to fashion houses? Because no models can now come up for shooting too. You know, you can't keep changing clothes like that. Suddenly everybody went to a reset.
That's true.
And I was, thanks to again my curiosity on technology, I was reading about innovation in Israel market for some reason. And I remember Israel had something to do with a very close innovation with humanoids. And I see someone in India creating a generative AI. So basically what happens, I gave you a model example that fashion houses, imagine models disappear, who would you put there next? Right? Generative AI would create a synthetic model on the system, no studios needed. And imagine you can, so when you are reading about technology, your source is developed countries, your mindset becomes what's next, this is the next trend. So that becomes an intuitive part of your personality, that you kind of read that stuff, so angel investment gave me a perspective, and I really fought with the platform. I want to back these founders. There's a lot more to their synthetic mannequin side. But imagine the opportunity it just opens up for all the fashion brands, and it is there is no person like that what they create. Okay, there is absolute ethnicity taken care of. You can decide which model you want for this apparel, and it just brings down so much wastage in so many things that goes on. So that's so this is how, when I kept on learning and interacting, I knew that AI is here to stay. It's not going to go, as I said, like social media, out of our life. We need to coexist with it. We got to be smart and ahead, because AI is nothing but a big data which is coming to you in different form. That different form should be using AI properly. Yeah, the algorithms, as you know, social media, right? That's when you watch something on Instagram, either it makes you happy, you will see a lot of happy thing. If it's gonna make you sulk, it's gonna start showing you the same stuff because you are seeing it more of it. So there is no loop. This is the loop that you can't break on social media habits. So an ethical AI brings a perspective here through education, awareness, and through Etherwire we bring a content that even you are addicted, it's not going to do harm to you. So AI application is everybody's job, and
so obviously AI has been more helpful in certain domains compared
Absolutely.
to others. So how important do you think it's for businesses to have a mixture of both traditional business methods and AI, or are you of the opinion that they should completely adopt to entire AI methods? Like you said, look, the models that would completely eliminate the job of having human models. So are you of the opinion that they should have a mixture of both, or just stick to?
Okay. I think giving example of the model and synthetic model, I think it started for the good purpose. Because what will fashion? It's a solution for somebody. It may not be a solution for someone else. But I think your question is again a very good one, that traditional versus with the advance and the technology, right? I think every businesses should be run like what is traditional businesses. When we started discussing with our think tankers and communities for ethical AI, the basic thing, what has been missing all throughout in technology and AI application is one thing that is truly traditional, is our moral values.
Moral values, yeah, of course.
Right? I have not done bad to you, don't do bad to me, right? So point is, the whole architecture infrastructure of AI deployment, application, or it being used for new innovation doesn't have a moral compass. So I think a business can be techie, AI, super AI, generative AI, or anything, but they should carry moral value. As one of our guests and think tanker beautifully said, that when we were growing up, moral science used to be a 10 marks question paper. Wish it was 100, right? And it should have been made us, and plus we all come with moral values from our family, and I think that's what we need to calibrate in new tech edge businesses as well. And I think the world is turning to India in terms of learning about various teaching which can be incorporated in business and ethics. I was with Dr. Pillai, Radhakrishnan Pillai sir, the man behind Chanakya, and corporate Chanakya, and the legacy he is leaving for us is fantastic. Today, amount of calls that he gets, the amount of lectures he goes to various corporates and various various leadership forums, and he has amazing experience to share that somewhere he feels good that a lot of global local businesses are picking up the ancient wisdom to stay relevant. So what works for you, just pick it up, but see that you take moral values in your future tech businesses.
So what's your perspective on tackling cybersecurity challenges in today's world?
Cybersecurity is such a big issue today.
It is.
It's as big as the social media gets or the technology itself gets. I was catching up with one of the top mover shakers of cybersecurity, Munish, and Munish is president of Inspira. He was so I asked him on one of the podcasts, कि Munish, what is क्या सबका number आएगा? So he said it's a wrong question. Unlike your questions are right. So he said it's a wrong question. The right question should be number कब आएगा? So everybody will get hacked or scammed once in their lifetime. And is that big the problem is? Cybersecurity is as I understood, is the biggest threat that it's facing everybody which is using internet or is on net. Whether they are listed giant companies, there are multi-billion-dollar valued unicorns, or they are investors in these companies to banking, financial market participants. Everybody, you and me. So cyber threat is there for real for all of us. As I said, what I learned from the thought leaders in the cyber security is that it's our own vigilance that's going to make us or break us, so to say. So what's happening actually is that the stronger the technology is becoming, the firewalls, the stronger our infiltrations also. And these infiltrations have happened of big servers being hacked. All top international domestic companies, if you pick up, most of the Fortune 500 companies would have been already. I think 40% of the most valued companies are hacked. So we are talking about large numbers. I was speaking to our commissioner of cybercrime. We were the other day interviewing him. He said the cybercrime, it's a $6 trillion economy.
It is.
Right? We are talking about scale which has never happened before. Like I said, AI never happened before. It's the biggest innovation or movement humankind has seen. So cyber security, as they say, is as strong or as weak as you and me, because we leave so many footprints behind on internet that someone out there smart enough is going to collate one day everything and going to get into your account and say hello there. Right? So we have seen digital arrest are for real. You are held hostage.
Digital arrest is the most up and coming thing that's troubling everybody.
So so cyber hacking and all of it is a huge word.
So what do you think are the challenges being faced by the industries and the businesses nowadays in coping up with the rapid technological changes in the world and in all respect?
I think challenges तो ऐसे हैं कि लगता है कि they were never gonna get over, whether it's business or people. But to speak fundamentally, the challenges which I see would differentiate for businesses to businesses. Like for an example, if we pick up media and entertainment, the challenges of TV channels, as you know, that OTT has become more powerful.
Okay.
And now there is, in one side of the world, there are anchors which are now AI. There are influencers probably which are AI, you probably would not know. So there is a challenge of what is, so that's one side of thing. The other is the challenge of fake and what is real and what is fake.
That is quite tough.
I think that's really a big challenge for businesses and people overall. Because your reliance depends, your decision making would depend on some data. What if that data is negotiated? We spoke about cyber security, being up on the game of cyber safety, having mind like eye on the ball or eye on the game of cyber safety, making your organization strong from within. and taking cybersecurity as an everyday job, not once in a month or a quarterly audit kind of a thing.
Right.
I think is another challenge that businesses are facing but can overcome. The challenge of AI itself. You know, like the way we've been discussing about it, there are companies, you know, the leaders which are managing and manning billion-dollar valued organizations are also grappling with similar questions, which is how much of AI and what all will be AI. I think the smartness and the balance that lies in front of businesses to adopt or to walk on, the challenge of how much balance do we do. I think the list really goes on. The challenge, as I see also, is hiring of late. There are some companies can't hire because they're not getting those skill sets. And as you rightly said, that while the education institute is doing its everything is capacity to be, you know, to provide the relevant education to the students, but things take time. I was with certain faculty of Management Institute. The faculty is also working hard to upgrade themselves. So everybody is doing their part. The challenge is that the speed of change itself is too fast. Okay. So as I said, the list will truly go on. But hiring truly stands out. The quality of people itself is. So the knowledge gap in the industry, the tech gap to exist.
Tech gap, yes.
Right, it's the gap should not widen. There are various players who do their bit of role, but yeah, challenges are immense, and the good leaders will shepherd their companies very well. The people who would adopt tech smartly, you know, add AI. Ethically, you know, ethical AI will definitely do very well, and I think moral values will never go out of fashion. So they should help you to reduce your business stress and challenges. But yes, the dynamics of business looks very different from what they looked earlier, 100 years back, and what they're going to look next 10 years.
So what do you think are the upcoming trends in technologies in the AI field that will impact businesses?
Impact for good or bad, or just okay.
In general, impact
okay.
in any way.
I am looking at humanoids. They will make a big drift. The work is going on. Robotics is going to be in various fields. They are making the big way, but super AI. Agentic AI, as we say. Agentic AI is something too that we are looking at. Could be a big, I won't say a trend, but a big space that it will take in the coming time. And humanoids would be as real as probably as we are. And some countries are already taking leap forward steps in that. And so I believe that should be the one looking at.
Okay.
Yes.
Lastly, do you have any advice to anyone who's trying to start up a business and, you know, trying to get into a business tech field?
Okay. Advice about
From your experience,
yes, of course. On a lighter note, if you can avoid being a founder, avoid it. No regrets. But I truly, after being a founder myself, I realized, and I truly respect other founders and business owners far more than I ever did before. To be a founder, you need to have a different junoon and stuff. Advice ये है कि anybody who wants to become a founder or an entrepreneur should ideally first work for a few years. They should have real life experience. You can work under a founder's office. You can shadow a founder. Work in a field that gives you a good, clear, on ground perspective. That helps. If you're a college kid who is starting as an entrepreneur, coming out of a college, entrepreneurship really helps. As a founder, as an entrepreneur, one of the advice is that you could be wrong. Don't marry an idea. Marry your passion. And ideas fail, people don't. So build yourself up, and if you are convinced, go all in, chips all in. You can't work and then set up a startup.
That's true.
So So as I said, all heart in, else don't do it. It's not for faint-hearted. Entrepreneurial journey is really tough. It's solo. So what do you do? Another piece of advice is paper pencil kind of working never goes out of fashion. Okay, going and writing your plan, what you're good at, what you bring to the table. Okay, where would you get your first client? Okay, do you have it in you? If you don't get it for next 6, 9 or 1 year, who are your initial backers? So this kind of introspection, I don't think so is out of fashion. Don't Google your answers, especially if you're young founders. You're a good founder, go for it. Investors will chase you. I have chased one startup founder that I want to back him, and I went to the investors that I want to be on the table, cap table. The other is take help sooner. Definitely have a mentor. Okay, you may probably not need money, or probably you may think that you need money, but your mentor can do a far bigger, impact to you. So have an early mentors in life, and ask help. Don't try and do everything by yourself just because you don't trust people. Hire people sooner than later. Fatigue is difficult to kind of resist and come out as well. For me, how I have stayed relevant all this time is also because I had skills to that itched me that I have to upgrade myself. Upgrading was through learning new things, reading new things, be curious, feed your curious kid in you.
Like it's important to be up to date with the new technologies.
Absolutely. And then you choose where you want to go in detail and depth, but do a thorough homework. And rest, magic will take you forward. In a language of sustaining in startup world, like today is painful, tomorrow is more painful, day after tomorrow is great. Most of the people die between today and tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. So entrepreneurial journey is very satisfying. And I can see
it's hard work,
and it's hard work. What 60, 70 hours, 90 hours debate. Nobody asks me how many hours I am putting. I've stopped counting beyond 100 hours, right? When you got to finish your work, you got to finish your work, right? So rest, keep networking, keep learning, keep an eye on when the need of your consumers changes. So keep the eye on the, keep that finger on the pulse. I hope that's enough advice.
That's very great
As I said,
advice.
I can really go on.
No, that's very great advice. Like that's quite insightful. Thank you.
I'm happy. Great. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, it was quite helpful. Thank you for your wonderful insights.
Thank you so much.